Man of the year, man of the year, man of the year. Welcome to the number one friendship podcast in the country. I'm Aaron Karo.
I'm Matt Ritter.
So, Matt, in a recent episode, we came up with another one of our trademark catchphrases. Let's take a fringe friend to a binge friend, meaning let's take someone who's kind of a new friend or an outer circle friend and turn them into someone that you hang out with all the time. And then someone sent us an article, and I didn't even realize at the time, but it's from our friend of the pod, Kat Velos, who's a friendship and relationship expert. And it's an article about ways to grow a friendship, basically taking a fringe friend to a binge friend. So I thought, let's talk about some of her best practices. And also, do you have any just general thoughts about like how to like move that relationship to the next level?
Well, I do want to get into it, but I want to say that I think one of the biggest goals of our listeners is to do this, is to take a fringe friend and make them a binge friend, is to take a casual friend and deepen that friendship. I think that is what most of our listeners, a lot of them men, are actually struggling with the most.
Because the fact is, everyone's got friends. Maybe they're not best friends, maybe they're not close friends, but everyone's got potential fringe friends that they could level up with.
Right. And I do really think that that is the best improvement that a lot of people can make, is to just take, because it is, look, it's hard to just go, I'm going to make a new friend completely. Let's be honest. It's not easy. We're giving our best tips, but that's hard. I think it is easier to take somebody that you've already done the hard part, right? Made them a friend and level that up. I mean, I think that once you've got them in your orbit, that's what you really want. You got them in the orbit. You want to gravity. You want to take that like gravitron pull and get them into your real close space. So they're not just in the orbit.
Well, the article uses how to grow a friendship. So it's a sort of a plant. They're all plant analogies. So I think what you're saying, Matt, is the seeds of the friendship are there.
Right.
You know, your buddy from work or your casual acquaintance, and we just got to water that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So let's hit them. Let's hit them with it.
Yeah. So first thing she says is get in the same pot. I mean, we're going to do a lot of plant analogies. And this is one of your favorites, Matt. She basically suggests sharing day-to-day experiences in real life, which is what we call low-key hang. So it's like if you're running an errand or if you're cooking dinner, invite this friend to take part in your life.
I always knew I was doing it right all along. I've always maintained.
All along. Now, my question for you is that a odd thing to invite a fringe friend to do, like go grocery shopping or errands or something like that?
Yes, that doesn't work for me. I'm going to disagree. I don't think that works off the bat. I don't think you can do that's a skip ahead. That's a little further down the road.
Because that is a more casual. I mean, going to Target is pretty casual.
Yeah. It's hard to invite a fringe friend to Target with you. That feels like a closer friend activity. So I'm going to say no on that one, respectfully. That one doesn't work for me. I think you can do low-key hangs, but I think you need to jumpstart the friendship. You need more formal things because it feels like there's an awkwardness that people feel between them. And if you give them a game to watch or something, it just makes it easier to get through that initial phase.
I don't know. I'm going to, even though I disagreed with you on the errands episode about asking someone to go on an errand with you, I don't know. I think a Target invite, I mean, it depends on who the person is, obviously. Could be, I mean, you're shaking your head. I mean, we've never disagreed so much. I mean, just it's low pressure and it's quick.
I think I think that you got to stick with, if you're going to do low key hangs, just start off with a coffee, start off with a thing that feels like it's in the normal realm of what they're used to. I just, I think that makes it a little awkward.
Okay. Well, I'm going to Kat Velos, I'm sure will write in and tell us why we're wrong. Then she also talks about watering and feeding. And this is kind of another way to say frequency. And this is something that comes up a lot on the pod, which is that when you meet someone for romantic reasons, all you want to do is keep hanging out with them. But when you meet a new friend, you go, oh, we should get together, which is, by the way, the name of her website, we should get together.com.
Yeah.
She's like, you got to increase the frequency, especially earlier in the relationship. It's actually scientifically proven to help grow a stronger friendship.
100% agree with that one. That one, I'm 100,000,000,000% in agreement with the frequency. You make a new friend, you want to level up. I've seen it time and time again. The ones that I level up quickly with now are my closest friends. The ones that you kind of just bleed out over a year, 2 years, you see them 4 times. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Why do you think people do that? Which is like meet someone who's a potential new friend and then don't like reach out more often. Yeah.
2 things. One is I think on some level they don't really want to commit to that person. I think they like the idea of potentially being close with them, but I think if you just want to really be close to somebody, you do it. You do it, right? Like I think it's like dating. You know, if they're not showing up, if they're not calling you, it's because they're not really that interested. Now, you may like the idea of being close to that person, but you would just do it. The other is, you know, we make excuses for ourselves when it should be somebody you should be friends with. It's our own internal stuff that we're trying to help our listeners get over, right? Oh, they don't actually want to hang out with me, right? That's the number one. What if they reject me, right? What if they reject me? What if they don't like me? I don't know. I can't afford to do anything super cool with them. I want to impress them. All these negative thoughts that we let seep into our mind that aren't actually taking place. I think if we can help our listeners get rid of those and just go for the frequency without all the other baggage.
What about being afraid of being seen as needy?
It's interesting. Somebody very close to me, I don't want to say who, recently said that they didn't want to seem thirsty for a new friend who invited them to a birthday dinner where they would be the only person there that didn't all know each other that well.
But they got invited by a new friend to a dinner.
Yep.
And
yep.
How is that being thirsty? If they said yes.
Yeah, if they said yes, yeah. I think it was a bit of an overthink.
I mean,
I think the truth is they would feel uncomfortable because they had just seen that person and they were on the schedule for another thing. That was the other part of it. They were on the schedule to see them again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they got invited to the birthday. So that other friend is doing all the right things to level up a friendship.
By the way, Matt, you're going to love this. Do you remember like maybe the first episode of the pod, we talked about Fireball Adam when he reaches out for plans, he would just be like, hey, what are you up to Sunday?
Yeah. And then he tells you what it is after.
Yeah. With no additional information. So my friend Arzu, you met her at her holiday party. She hit me up yesterday. She's like, are you around, Sunday, whatever? Do you want to come to my birthday party? And I was like, yeah, I'm around. I'm down. And then she's like, great, I'll send you the paperless post. It's at Santa Anita Racetrack.
Oh my God, that's far.
So it's 90 minutes away.
Yep.
And I'm like, why don't you say you want to come to my birthday in Santa Anita? She's like, well, I wanted to, get you on the hook first.
They wanted to get you on the hook. Hey, very well played, Arizu.
By the way, a cool idea for a birthday. Go to the racetrack, something up your alley.
I can't believe I haven't thought of that. That's genius. It combines everything that I love, friendship and gambling.
Yeah, it's exactly. I mean, you're only 2 things. You're betting on the ponies. Yeah. But it's funny.
Let it all ride.
It's funny too, because she was like, it's I paid for open bar, which by the way, I love when like JMC just did that for his party.
It's great. It's great.
But here's my quibble. You're
going to quibble with somebody opening a bar for you? Wow. I can't wait for this one.
My quibble is I have to drive.
Oh, your quibble with the Santa Ana one, or just in general, any open bar?
No, open bar. I mean, please sign me up.
Your quibble is why are we doing a thing that's free drinks when I have to go drive an hour and a half, and the Uber would be what, like $200?
At this point in my life, it's not about the Uber cost of the Uber. I can't sit in an Uber for
2 hours. Yeah, that's crazy. Is there another person that you know that could drive you there?
Actually, she's actually the only one that I know. So it'll be unusual situation where I'll be the person who doesn't know anybody.
Wow. And you're gonna go?
By the way, also when I got into the paperless post, it was Matt style. I was definitely second tier. Everyone had already RSVP'd.
What was the distance time-wise between the initial invite and the
Didn't
second
show a
invite?
timestamp, but I think it was like wasn't that far. It wasn't that
Well,
bad.
no, you can see a little hack. You can see the comment stamp.
Oh,
Timestamp on the comments.
okay. All right. I didn't see any comments. I got to look at that.
Mhm.
By the way, I love I'm just like talking smack about Arzu. I'm very excited about the thing, but I just thought you'd appreciate it. Hey, you want to come to my party? Sure. It's in 2 hours away.
Yeah, I told you, my aunt still hasn't forgiven us for the accidental. We accidentally left her off of the first cut of
Yeah.
I don't know, baby shower or something.
But anyway, your friend who got invited to the thing, I mean, like, I do know what he or she is saying. Like every once in a while, someone will invite me to something. I'm like, if I say yes, is that too thirsty?
Right.
But
I know. I get it. I think that like we're trying to be honest on this pod. And so I appreciated my friend saying like, I don't want to seem too thirsty because I feel like a lot of us think that. We never say that out loud. Like, oh, I don't know. Should I go? I don't want to seem too thirsty for this friendship.
But would you ever invite someone to something when they said yes, you were like, wow, thirsty?
No, that's why I'm saying we're just projecting our own baggage and insecurities. Clearly, that other potential new friend is doing their best to try to signal to you, like, I am wanting to increase the frequency of this new friendship.
Okay, so next part of Kat's advice, going from a fringe friend to a binge friend, is, I mean, the analogies are getting a little stretched. We love you, Kat. Fertilize with your words, which basically,
I didn't realize this was literally going to be a botany related.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great article. Excuse me, but so she basically says combine meaningful conversations with small talk, like not just one or the other. What do you think about that?
Well, I think organically, most convos start at small talk.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are close friends with somebody, they end up hopefully getting into some more meaningful stuff.
I mean, small talk is the grease, is the lube that greases the friendship.
Lube, right? I always caution against starting with the heavy.
Because let me ask you this: somebody that we know, I can't remember who it was, but they're basically saying, I think it's actually my mom talking about my dad. Or maybe it was like,
who are these two people that said this thing?
Or maybe my dad was just telling me that, like, most of it, because my dad is a very healthy, he talks to his buddies on the phone, like every day.
You're the only one that thinks this is unhealthy.
No, I'm saying it's very healthy. I'm saying it's very healthy.
But you're the only one that doesn't partake.
Remind me, I have a phone conversation I want to bring up to you. His conversations are predominantly about sports. And my question to you is that an issue?
I think so. I think our dad's generation, that was my dad and I, that was our conversations. Sports.
You know? So that's a problem?
If it's just about sports. Yeah, I think so. I think we're trying to that generation, I don't know that we're going to be able to just like get people who've been doing that for 50 years to suddenly start opening up, although it's never too late. But I don't even believe that. I don't believe they never talk about their kids.
Right. I think
I don't even believe that.
Sports is their small talk.
Yeah.
And then I've heard him. He talks about talk about the wives, politics, work.
I mean, I think it's okay for most of it to be about sports.
Yeah.
But I think you got to be able to sprinkle in the important stuff when it matters.
Right. Yeah, no, I think so. I think I'd rather him be talking only about sports and not at all. And then I'd rather him sprinkle in some other stuff, which he does. Because
like but it would be funny if like two old men are talking, and one of them's like, wow, those Red Sox, how about the Sox? And then suddenly like the other guy's like, hey, did I tell you my nephew got into college? And he's like, what? Why are you telling me about your damn nephew? We're talking about the Red Sox. Like that would never happen,
Right. Of course. Well, but I think the point is, Matt, that a lot of men, this is not my dad, but a lot of men would feel strange about bringing up the nephew.
Right. Right. And that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't feel strange. Your friend's going to be happy to hear that.
So let me ask you this. Speaking of nephews, so my cousin Daniel, who you met, he's 21 now. So my dad's nephew, Daniel, is a huge Rangers fan. And as we know, I used to be a massive Rangers fan, but I've just kind of petered out. So now Daniel and my dad text every day about the Rangers and talk on the phone about the Rangers. And he's like the new son.
I love that.
They talk more than me.
Listen, they have a thing. That's their connection. It's great. It's great. You're feeling a little pang of jealousy.
I would say not a little twang, a
twinge,
a twinge.
I mean, what can you do? You know?
I love that. It's a 75-year-old guy and a 21-year-old nephew. That's great.
Very cute. It's very cute.
The other thing I want to mention too, because I'm thinking about you a lot, we talk about how talking on the phone, you like to chit chat a little bit more. I hate when people unstack my habits, call me during the day when I'm doing work. And I realized the other day, it struck me that I'm not a person who doesn't like talking on the phone. Some people, Gen Z, are like, no, I won't talk on the phone. I realize that I don't, only when I'm driving.
You like only want to talk when you're driving, or you only?
This is when I do want to talk.
Okay.
Like anytime someone calls me, even if it's after work hours, it's the weekend. I don't like it because I feel like sitting down and having a conversation is like, I don't know. It feels just like not a waste of time, but I just don't enjoy it.
I wanted to hit you with a study, actually, that they did recently. They had 2 groups of teenage girls.
Okay.
For a month. One group, the control group, texted their moms every day. No calls. The second group called their moms every day. The second group that called their moms, their serotonin, their happiness levels, every metric of happiness, they were much happier than the other group.
I mean, I suppose that makes sense.
I'm just saying, I don't think the texts do the same thing.
No, but I'm just saying I'll have phone conversations, but it's got to be when I'm driving.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying in general, in the age of text,
right?
There's something to connecting on a human level, hearing somebody's voice, seeing their face, etc.
Yeah, or a voice memo.
Scientifically matter.
And then Kat's,
or voice.
Yeah. And then this is Kat's last tip here, which is actually, wow, we just dovetail right to exactly what you said, which is champion biodiversity, which is actually having different experience, different communication channels with your friend, literally exactly what you're talking about. So it's not only text, it's you're FaceTiming, you're in person, you're in social media, as opposed to just having one channel. What do you think about that?
I mean, on a Friday, I will hit you up in the morning at 4 a.m. with a LinkedIn, 5 a.m. with an Insta DM, 6 a.m. with a phone call, 8:30 with our StreamYard.
But do you think that makes a difference in a friendship?
What's that?
You think that makes a difference in a friendship?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something playfully romantic about the silliness of being on so many different channels when you know you don't have to be.
Well, it's also different channels for different reasons, for different folks. If you text me, that requires a response right away. I can ignore your LinkedIn's, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's true too. The pacing.
But I also think she meant by biodiversity of sort of, we talked about this in a recent episode. You're not only just reminiscing, you're also creating new memories.
Right. I like that one. Look, I guess I like all of her tips, except for the one of like trying to get, we're trying to get Fringe friends to Binge friends. I don't think asking them to target off the bat is the right play for everybody. So I'm just cautioning a little bit against that of like, let's try to figure out the right sort of pace to ask for certain things.
Should we take a listener question?
Hell yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, this is Asking for a Friend. If you have a friendship question or ethical dilemma, send it to us on Instagram, Man of the Year Podcast, and we will answer it on the show. Okay, Matt, I'm going to read this question to you. I believe this is a woman. She says, my best friend Sarah and I used to be inseparable. Lately, though, she's become incredibly busy. New boyfriend, crazy at work, training for a marathon. Hey, good for you. Plus other social commitments. Every time I try to make plans, she has a scheduling conflict and says she's slammed. I miss our time together and feel a bit disconnected. How can I navigate this shift in her life without seeming clingy or inconsiderate of her busy schedule?
We've talked about this. I've had some friends like this. We've all sort of been the busy friend, but I just think there are certain ways of handling it. One is whether you first off, let's just what's really going on. So if what's really going on is you genuinely believe this person's extremely busy and they do want to make time for you, handle it one way. If this person is using those excuses because they're just not that into you, I think you have to go, okay, I think they're telling me what they want to tell me. And I have to prioritize friendships, people who are willing to invest time in me, because everybody's busy, right? So on some level, you just got to say, look, if this person doesn't have time for me, maybe I don't really want to make time for them. But sometimes people go through phases where one person's really busy and the other one, and you really do want to maintain that friendship. And we all go through that in life. So I think one thing you can do is just acknowledge it, like straight off the bat of like, look, I totally get that you're so busy. I want to figure out a way for us to get together, even if it's a 15-minute coffee or, I want to figure out ways to make it work with your schedule.
So just reading between the lines of this question, I think it's probably the former, where the friend actually just is busy.
Right.
And that happens. Now, I think we all know we're all busy. She's got a new boyfriend, so she's got enough time for the boyfriend.
Right.
There's always time for something if you make it a priority.
Yeah. Well, new boyfriend phase, once you go into that hole, that's like a dark 6-month hole.
Right.
And I think it's important sometimes that, look, I got to be honest. I think it's important to go into that hole.
Okay.
I think most relationships go into that hole that last. I think most relationships go into this hot and heavy phase where like other things get dropped. And I think that's okay as long as you come out of it in a reasonable time frame.
Sure. I mean, you can give somebody a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
But I think maybe we should think from Sarah, the busy woman's perspective. Okay. Are you, neglecting your friend? Are there things you could do that you could fit into your schedule if you actually are that slammed? Other thing is acknowledging it. So I don't know if we talked about this, but so I haven't seen my friend Katrina a lot. She has a new job. I've been very busy. So I recently went to Shane, had birthday drinks. She was there. I got Shane a birthday card. I always get a card. And then I also got Katrina a card. That was just a friendship card. Ooh. I was like, hey, I know we're kind of in the, is it ebb or is it flow? Ebb? Ebb. Like we're in a bit of an ebb right now, but like it's not permanent and I still value your friendship and like want to hang out soon. She started crying.
I would cry. I'm almost crying now. That's a great card. That's a great sentiment. That's a great, beautiful sentiment.
But I think card aside, it was important for me to just acknowledge. Because again, to your point, Matt, our questioner doesn't know where she stands with this person.
Right. Yeah.
So at least we know, the busy friend could say, hey, it's not you, it's me. And that's like half the battle right there.
So let's talk about that for a second, because I think what you said is critical. First of all, we need to make merch that includes cards now. I just realized.
Yeah.
We got to have
cards for every occasion. Like, sorry, I threw up in your whatever.
Yeah. Yes. I told that person that they should apologize to you right in front of you, like I did at my birthday party last year.
Oh, right.
So I just thought of something. Look, the question came from the person who's getting dissed, but we are talking to people that are busy on our pod. And I've said I've had this problem with a friend who's always busy. I think part of my problem is that he acknowledges that he's busy, but he doesn't acknowledge that he values the friendship. I think I just realized what's bothering me about it.
Wow.
Because what you just did is so nice, and it would hit me so, like, if somebody did that for me and got me that card and said, like, I know it's been crazy, but I really want to see you and I value our friendship. Like, oh man, that would like totally change my perspective on it. Instead of my feelings of like, okay, we're all busy. You're busy. Okay, great. Then fine. I'm just going to like stop inviting you to things.
That's huge. I mean, because I know what you're talking about. If he gets slammed, can't do it, slam, thanks for invitation, slam. All he has to do is say, hey, I know it's been crazy. Like, I do want to hang out. Like, I'm going through it. I love you.
Right.
You never said anything like that.
Right. And I think a lot of us who are stressed and we're busy, we just get out that one part, the informational part. That informational part doesn't give a shit for your friend, you know?
Right.
That doesn't do anything to keep your bond. You telling your friend you're busy does nothing to improve or repair your friendship. But if you say, hey, I'm so busy, I'm going through this 6-month busy period at work, but you know I love you, I miss our tradition, I miss that saying, I miss you, game changer.
I think where people are too heavy on information and too light on emotion. I think we maybe need a hybrid of the two, maybe info motion.
Yes.
Of like, hey, I'm slammed, but I love you.
Just that piece at the end, or like, I'm slammed. I can't believe it's been 6 months since I saw you. Just like something that tells me that you are aware of how that makes us feel as friends to not see each other for that period of time.
Some other hacks I think we've mentioned back in the day, if you're the busy friend, put something on the calendar, even if it's 3 months away.
Yes.
Because that's also like, hey, obviously I value you enough to do this. And like, maybe you have to move it, but at least if it's 3 months away, you can work toward it.
Yep. I like that. So back to the advice though, for the person who is receiving this busy stuff.
So I was going to say, maybe this could go both ways. Can you suggest things that fit into, she's training for a marathon. Hey, can I come watch? Can I run with you?
Right.
You know, can I have a drink with you before you go out with your boyfriend?
Right. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's great. I think you're being a really good friend. You're going out of your way. And I think, add that. And I think that will tell you where you stand and tell you what you need to know about how to proceed with this relationship, if it is worth investing in long-term. Because if you now go, can I come before you? I would love to meet the boyfriend. Or you're running, hey, I've been meaning to run. Can I jump in on one of your practice runs? That way we'll catch up. If they're receptive to that, then you're all good.
Out of curiosity, have you ever had a conversation with your busy friend?
No. And I think I'm thinking about that, and I think if I want to, on my end, I think that's the onus a little on me to be like, listen, I get it. We're all busy, but if you really care about this friendship, like, you got to do a little more acknowledging.
Right. Because even if he said, listen, you're right. I do love you. I do value the friendship. I'm going through it. It's been a minute. That's really all you need.
That's all I need. So maybe I'll put it out there, because look, after all, we are doing a friendship podcast. So, it's okay for me to put myself out there too. I better be able to do it too, if I'm giving this advice.
I mean, I guess another question would be, what do you think he's thinking?
Nothing, just busy.
Yeah. Well, friends aren't mind readers, so we don't know what he's thinking.
Yep.
But okay, listen, there's your buddy being busy. I was busy, but I still had in my brain, I got to hit up Katrina because this is important.
Yeah.
But not everyone thinks that way.
You're a friendship expert.
I am the chief friendship officer, the CFO.
But we're all CFOs of our own life.
I think we answered this question.
Yeah, it's great.
And good luck on the marathon. All right. That was asking for a friend. If you have a listener question, send it to us on Instagram and we will answer it on the show. Matt, anything else you want to chat about before we get to our shouts?
No, I think we're good.
So this is an interesting shout today. We're shouting a place. Okay. This is a place called The Third Spot. It's called Your Third Spot in Atlanta. My cousin Rob sent it to me. And it's literally, so we talk about the third place, which is home is first, work is second. Third place is a place where people gather and socialize. It's a bar restaurant that's made to socialize. They've got games, small plates. Said we're purpose driven. We're on a mission to connect people and build community.
So does it have communal seating then?
It's sort of like Dave and Buster's meets like a communal restaurant.
Okay. I like that. What do you think about the communal table while we're on that?
I'm thinking because my New Year's resolution is to be reflective, not reactive. And I reacted like, I don't like that.
Yeah. As a way to meet people.
Oh, it was a way to meet people.
Those restaurants that just have like the communal tables.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different experience. If you're going to dinner to catch up,
you don't want to be at a communal table.
You don't want to deal with that.
I agree. I hate that. If I'm trying to catch up with somebody around the communal table, but if I'm just in a regular, ordinary, like I don't need to catch up with anybody. I love being at a communal table, meeting people.
Right. And I encourage our listeners in Atlanta to check this place out. It's Your Third with the number 3, yourthirdspot.com. I mean, the place looks amazing.
We got to go. We got to go.
Jenga. They've got cornhole, darts.
When we go on our tour, which we're going to launch later this year, you can go on our website for more info. I think we should hit up these types of places in the cities that we're playing.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, they've got games. They've got games that I never heard of. Okay. They've got, Connect 4 and Cards Against Humanity, but listen to some of these games. Bucket of Doom.
Bucket of Doom. That's a game. I've never heard of that one.
Clask, Club, Ladder Ball, Top Block. Seems like this is like a chat GPT of games.
Yeah. I gotta look these up.
So anyway, yourthirdspot.com in Atlanta. Thanks to my cousin Rob for sending that to me. Matt, what did we learn today?
Well, we're trying to level up some friendships, right? I mean, that's the goal for a lot of people. There's a pretty tried and true. I mean, I think Kat's strategies were all very good. We should share that link to that article. I mean, I think if you just kind of follow the steps, this isn't rocket science. Frequency is my number one. Frequency.
I was literally going to say, if you take anything away from this podcast, it's that if you're trying to take a fringe friend to a binge friend, number one hack is frequency. Don't be afraid of reaching out, making plans. Don't let it lay fallow or lie fallow. Water this friendship, because that's how friendships grow.
I think you've got a finite period of time to make somebody a good friend. From the day you meet them, the clock is ticking a little bit. Not to put too much pressure on it, but realistically, I think that's something just to keep in mind, that if you like the person, that's your kind of homework, is figure out ways to level it up quickly.
And guys, if you've just been swamped, and we all have been swamped lately, and there's somebody that you haven't had plans with in a while, just shoot them a text or a voice memo and acknowledge it and tell them that they're important to you. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Always remember, be good to yourself, be good to your friends. Hey, Matt, I love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.